First and foremost, Elon Musk.
Who the hell does Musk think he is? He has absolutely no right in shutting down USAID.
What Elon Musk is doing is illegal. It is a coup.
Elon Musk makes unsafe cars, and now he wants to create an unsafe world. We will not shut up. We will stand up. We will speak up.
So that's some Democrats protesting against Elon Musk, not necessarily the ones that I would have had speak at these events, but that's what they're doing right now, and that was in reference to USAID. But of course, through this last week, Elon Musk and his generally they'd prefer to be kept anonymous group of like 19 to 23-year-old lackeys have been going from organization to organization, agency to agency. They've been at the Department of Energy. I believe today they're hitting the Department of Labor, and they're accessing, in many cases, classified data, despite the fact that none of these employees, nor Elon Musk himself, have provided any evidence or even claimed that they've had background checks or security clearances. And so throughout the week, we've learned a little bit more about some of these employees. You can take a look at this photo, mainly because Elon Musk thinks it's a crime for you to see it, which seems weird, but it shows 6 of his closest lieutenants. I checked to make sure. I thought that was my old favorite League of Legends team, but no, it's actually the people who are remaking the US government. And there's a 7th actually that we're gonna talk about a little bit soon, Marco Elez, who's 25. That makes him the king of that group. But anyway, all of them have very interesting backgrounds. We're gonna be talking mainly about 2 in this video. So the first is Edward Coristine, who prefers to go online by Big Balls. And so that's his name. He's a very important person. I'm not even joking. He is now. He's 19 years old and he has finished high school. That's good. 19-year-old who established at least 5 different companies in the last 4 years, registering them in Connecticut and Delaware and the UK. So all over the place. In 2022, he worked at the Path Network, a network monitoring firm known for hiring reformed black hat hackers. Someone using a Telegram handle tied to him also solicited a cyber attack for hire service later that year. So no worries at all about this guy having read and write access to incredibly important government servers. But anyway, he's listed in the Office of Personnel Management Records as an expert at that agency, despite being 19 years old. And so employees of the GSA say that he's joined calls where they were made to justify their jobs and to review code that they've written. That's what we've seen and heard all over the government. One of his companies, remember he's got many, is Tesla.sexy LLC, which is very, very cool. I just want to say, I'm a fan, I love it. Anyway, he created that back in 2021. Anyway, it controls dozens of web domains, including at least 2 Russian registered domains. One of them, which is active, offers a service called Helfy, which is an AI bot for Discord servers targeting the Russian market. And so there's a lot of concerns with many of these people, especially considering they don't seem to have had background checks or security clearances, that they could, potentially be targets for foreign, intelligence agencies and that sort of thing. We'll see about that. They also, as you'll find out, seem eminently blackmailable considering their social media activity in the past. But anyway, so we don't know for sure about whether these businesses would put him in violation of US law, and we don't have a functioning DOJ, so we're unlikely to find out anytime soon. But honestly, he's the one I'm less worried about. We're gonna turn in a minute to one of those who's a bit spicier in his online activity. But I think, Waz, I'll start with you. This is a good example of the sort of person that seems to flock to Elon Musk and that he likes to groom. Sorry, I shouldn't say groom. He likes to prepare for jobs later on in life. So anyway, that sort of guy's all over the place. What do you make of it?
I mean, vaguely dorky virgins on the internet seem to be the people that love Elon Musk the most, dudes anyway. And so, yeah, he completely fits the description of, an engineer type who probably isn't very good at being a social person and has found his hero king in Elon Musk. Like, nobody should feel surprised when they see that. This is generally like the people that are holding up their Elon fan subscriptions online, man. And his biggest acolytes are all these younger type of people.
We're done. There's too much to fight back against at once. So much of it is so ridiculous. Like, we have 19-year-olds that are running the government. I mean, talk about going from having too old of people running our government and shooting to the complete opposite extreme. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. It's become normalized that we have people without background checks. It's become normalized that we have people with zero experience deciding the lives and careers of people who have been trying to dedicate their lives to serving our country, to working for our country in great non-partisan governmental roles. And again, this is what happens when you allow bloat to get out of control. People overcorrect. And instead of having reasonable discussion led by reasonable people to make reasonable cuts, you just have insanity, and we don't have enough manpower to stop it. It's just frustrating beyond belief, and I can't wait till you get to the next part because it's further proof of exactly that.
Yeah, and really fast on your point about having a reasonable conversation. Like, I don't believe that necessarily everything about security clearances and background checks should be exactly the way it is. Like, the idea that somebody who smoked weed or whatever shouldn't be able to serve, like, I don't believe that at all. That's crazy. But as you'll see, there's a reason they don't want background checks of these people. There's a reason they don't want Elon Musk to give a blood sample to the government. It's because they know what will be found. And so let's turn to this guy.
Also, who say anything about drugs? I mean, I ran for president and I smoke weed, and on the odd occasion for celebratory purposes do other things. That's not at issue. It's the history of people having no history. It's the history of people when they do have a history saying and doing very messed up things, which you're about to share.
Exactly. So let's turn to this. One of Elon Musk's lieutenants that's drawn the most attention this week is Marco Elez. So he is one of those that reportedly now has the ability to alter the code responsible for the vast majority of payments that the US government makes to its citizens, including Social Security, tax returns, and much more. He's been granted access not just to read, but to write code with the US Payment Automation Manager and the Secure Payment System at the Bureau of the Fiscal Service. So he's off. He's got his laptop and God knows what he's doing. God knows what he's accessing. God knows what he's planting in there. They also have the authority, by the way, to alter the documentation of what they've done in the code. We know specifically, so that's fun. And he's an interesting guy. Here's some of what he's posted online. Just for the record, I was racist before it was cool. He posted that a long time ago, though. It was July of last year, so everybody can change, I guess. He also wrote in September of last year, "You could not pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity." By the way, I've seen pictures of them. Dude, I don't think they're gonna be banging down the door to get to you. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Take who you can get. Anyway, normalize Indian hate, he said that month, in reference to a post noting the prevalence of people from India in Silicon Valley. He has a particular issue with Indian people, saying that 99% of Indian H-1Bs will be replaced by slightly smarter LLMs, large language models, one of the AI forms. They're going back. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, racists. We'll replace all of these damn Indians with AI chatbots soon. That's great. He also said this one, "I would not mind at all if Gaza and Israel were both wiped off the face of the earth," which is a fun little musing. You know, every man, woman, and child in Gaza and Israel being simultaneously exterminated. That's fun. Anyway, there are consequences in America. Don't ever believe there aren't, because those past comments were reported by a reporter and he resigned. And then Elon Musk posted a poll on Twitter asking if he should return. And shockingly, the people who follow Elon Musk online thought that he should. He got 80% of the vote. And also JD Vance came to his defense saying, here's my view. I obviously disagree with some of his posts. I'm not going to be specific, but I don't think stupid social media activity should ruin a kid's life. He's 25, by the way. Remember, he's the old one in the group. 25. If you're white, I guess, 25 still a kid if you do something bad. Interesting. We shouldn't reward journalists who try to destroy people ever. Again, they've made no claim that anything the reporter reported was inaccurate. They just don't like that it was reported. So I say bring him back. If he's a bad dude or a terrible member of the team, fire him for that. So let's just be very clear. Calling for every Palestinian and Israeli citizen to be wiped out does not necessarily make you a bad dude. You could be a bad dude, but not necessarily. Also, he called to normalize Indian hate and implied that it's disgusting to be involved in an interracial marriage. JD Vance is married to a woman of Indian descent. The Marco Velez knows that. He said that in September. JD Vance had already been chosen at that point, but for some reason, you cannot insult JD Vance's wife and children without JD Vance running to defend that person instantly, like some sort of weird like cuck symbol that just flies into the sky and then he runs to social media. Nobody asked him to defend this guy. He volunteered to do it. I don't know what they have on this guy, but it's something bad. In any event, it's done. As I predicted on TDR this morning, he's being brought back. So you can call for, I guess, like a follow-up Holocaust. You can imply that being racist is cool. You can call, as he did, for a eugenic immigration policy, which in his defense, Elon Musk also did that this week. And it's cool. You can go right back to reading and writing to government servers, maybe messing with particular members of particular races, social security payments and stuff like that. It's totally cool. Waz, I want to start with you. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think what JD Vance is doing there is like a vaguely anti-cancellation policy, right? Like that's been the right's big little hobby horse forever now. This idea that the libs are insane and they're constantly canceling people for no reason. And what JD Vance is trying to do there is show himself to be a true, anti-woke warrior. And this whole episode, I'm surprised that the guy was asked to leave or that he left in the first place for racism. Because obviously, like the entire project culturally of MAGA and everybody in its orbit is to be like, no, we need to bring all of that, hateful stuff, hating marginalized groups. We need to bring all of that back because that's what was missing from America and was making America awesome. And so I don't think we should be surprised by that. This fits perfect with the brand of MAGA. This entire idea that we should have cultural sensitivities or not call for the mass genocide of an entire race of people. That just shouldn't be part of the messaging. That's what the right believes these days. And so JD Vance is just furthering that cause.
Yeah,
two races for the price of one. The mass annihilation of both.
Efficient.
Both sides of a long conflict.
Ben, really fast, just to follow up, like he's an employee of the guy who, well, depending on your interpretation, did a Nazi salute multiple times on stage.
That's exactly right. And if it didn't get covered on TYT, I'm not sure, but there are videos, I did one of my Rebel videos that show Elon Musk the same year earlier, or I guess last year, doing a normal, yes, my heart goes out to you like this. So he knows how to do it. So there goes that argument. But this is exactly the point I was gonna make. It doesn't matter if specifically the people in charge have the specific hateful ideology of the thing they're being accused of. It doesn't matter if Elon Musk in particular has anything against Jewish people because he did a Nazi salute, because he's also done things to support Jewish people. The point is the lack of morality that is empowering quite intentionally the worst elements of our society. What they're doing intentionally is empowering fringe elements. It's the Proud Boys stand back and stand by. It's not that Donald Trump wants to be a Proud Boy or supports every bit of their ideology either. It's that they want troops on their side. They want everybody who has been put to the margins of our society empowered to speak out and to hate, just to further divide, because their goal is the opposite of unity. It's very specifically division. It's so that we have as many divisions in our society as we can. So we're fighting each other more. We're fighting left and right. We're fighting white versus black versus Jew versus Indian versus any group we can, so that we don't realize yet again the elites at the very top are stealing the money. They're taking the gold. We three kings be stealing the gold, and that's all we need to do is distract you to whatever way that we can. It proves the absolute moral disqualification of Elon Musk, JD Vance, and Donald Trump to be in power to say, should we bring back the guy who just last year said normalize Indian hate and let's annihilate the Jews and the Gazan people? You are disqualified from public life. It's exactly the same as Kanye being canceled from public life, then being invited to the Grammys, and then now again saying I'm a Nazi and I don't trust any Jewish person. For JD Vance, and it seems a requirement to work for Donald Trump, to straight up be, as you said, the world's greatest cuck. You have to literally let your wife be humiliated to work for the man. It's the way you prove your loyalty to an out of control, race baiting king of our rapidly crumbling democracy. But when you say bring the guy back and then see if he's bad, when you know already he's bad, a reporter exposing this is what they are more upset about. Exposing the horrible, disgusting, bereft of moral elements that are now all over our government. If you expose it, you're the cruel, sick person. That's directly what Elon Musk said. And it's empowering the hate everywhere. I just got a threatening DM yesterday from somebody saying to me, and I quote, "You're an anti-American terroristic piece of S, and you're gonna be dealt with." And I care about this country more than most people. And so this person clearly doesn't like that I'm against their MAGA agenda, and I'm trying to actually hold us to the standards of what has made this country truly great, and they're threatening me. And that's a tiny example of what so many of us, by the millions, are already starting to experience 2 weeks into this bereft, disgusting administration. If you can't be morally clear and realize that a statement just like that alone disqualifies Musk, disqualifies any sort of moral leadership from Vance, and Trump not coming out and disavowing it immediately, which of course he won't do because it's by design, disqualifies them from leading this nation. But it won't take anybody off of their teams. It just riles them up further. They love it. They love getting liberals in a twist. I guess liberals equivalent now to being somebody who actually wants to stop just outright hatred.
100%. Yeah, and in that they might have found they might try to reach out to the person who messaged you. Give him a job in DOGE, fit right in.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.